Good afternoon and welcome to Healthy Lifestyle. I'm Lorianne Casdia. Our goal here at Healthy Lifestyle is to inspire, educate, and empower you to fulfill a healthy, emotional, spiritual, and physical life so you can feel empowered to live the life you have always wanted and dreamed. I am so over the top excited about today's guest, Rhonda Klch, the founder of the Angel Awards and also the executive director of Equity First Foundation. She is a powerhouse known to many of us here in New York as such, just an energy that I can't even get over. We just recently got met and found out we live not far from each other, which is amazing. But Rhonda, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here. So let's talk about you. There's so much to talk about. I'm hyperventilating here. There's so much to talk about, but let's talk about the Angel Awards. What is it?
Sure. So I think sometimes going back to go forward is the easiest way to explain it. So myself, my being, a lot of who I am today is because of how I was raised. And I think that would be a fair statement for a majority of people would say the same thing.
That's fair.
Right?
Yes.
So I learned a lot about being a philanthropist, a good neighbor, being a good person, just all those beings.
Good human.
Being a good human,
yes.
Right? From my mother. So unfortunately, she had gotten sick and she passed away relatively suddenly. And as a strong person who does not like to show emotion very much, I found my strength in creating the Angel Awards to find other empowering women that were good representations of women that my mother would have liked to have known and people that really brought some healing to myself. So that's really kind of where it started. Yeah. And it's kind of taken a leg of its own. I've met amazing people every single year. You don't think you could find somebody better. And then you meet these other women every year. They get nominated and you read their backstories and their bios, and they're all very inspiring. So
how does one get nominated for the Angel Awards? And they're coming up, October 2nd, right?
October 2nd.
Yeah.
So we do a social media campaign, and we put out, so somebody can go to Angel Awards with an SLI.com, and there's a nomination form. So if any of the listeners know somebody who's an empowering woman, whether it be in her business, it could be a good community leader, somebody who's just very spiritual, we read all the backstories. So there are, again, this tremendous amount of inspiring women that get nominated each year. So it's just a matter of, show me that they're deserving. We try to recognize 20 of these empowering women every single year and do a wonderful campaign around spotlighting them and letting people realize that there is such a diverse spectrum of wonderful things that are happening in our backyard that they would never even know about.
Yeah, that's the silent mystery that goes around. Instead of getting on the news, all these wonderful things that are happening right in our backyards, we hear other things. And so the Angel Awards to me is what's so magical. That's why I'm so excited, because we're elevating and lifting up other women, those foundations, those organizations, whatever it is that is near and dear to their heart, then gets elevated as well. And we're sharing the information with you, our listeners, as well as with the world. So what you're doing is wonderful. And I know your mom would be very proud of what you're doing, because her legacy is actually well kept in this, without a doubt. And I get that because my mom has passed many years ago, and being able to bring forward all those things that they taught us and keep their spirit alive by doing something like this is magical in and of itself. So nomination. So someone could go online, they can nominate someone. Then what's the process, Rhonda? So
from there, once the nomination comes in, we do have a committee and we review and we try to establish whether that nomination is warranted. And I'll give you an example. So we get somebody who might be the executive director for an organization. if they're an executive director, but they're not showing that this person goes above and beyond the scope and nature of what their employment calls for,
right,
they're not eligible.
Right.
Because that's their job.
Right. Exactly. That's what they get paid for. Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So we really have to try to sometimes filter somebody trying to create a popularity contest for somebody, or whether that there's good behind that. So in the past, we've had executive directors of small mom and pop not-for-profits, and we heavily support that because we're a voice for them to hopefully shed more light and bring more awareness to what their growing culture is. That's a little bit different than a very large organization that has multiple layers of, kind of government built in. And trying to filter the difference.
Exactly. So how many years have you been doing this?
This year will be our fourth year.
And so fourth annual, that's great. And you have a number of angels from your previous classes, right?
We do.
Can you name any of them or the organizations that are represented in your angel list?
Sure. So from in the past years, some of the inspiring stories we had in year one, Jordan Bellows.
Okay.
She was in 12th grade. She was what we called our junior angel. Wow. And Jordan created a foundation called WHIP Pediatric Cancer.
Okay.
And so she would spend her time going in and helping with pediatric cancer research and spending her time with children that were sick.
She was how old?
She was 17, 18 at the time.
Wow. Okay.
Just kind of give you an idea.
Yeah.
Then we had last year Heidi Felix, who is, just a powerhouse of a philanthropist who believes in everybody having gifts. And her gift is to be able to do as much as she can to support her community and anybody in need. So her downtime, if you could even call it that, was, doing as much as she could to support other organizations, be a good neighbor, help provide, participate at her church.
Serving one another, as we say here on Healthy Lifestyle.
Sure.
Beautiful.
So we had Debbie and Brittany Loesch. They are the founders of Angels of Long Island, what started as a very small two people working out of their home in Bellport, just trying to help other families that were in need by connecting people with resources such as food and clothing to those in the community that were without. And it grew a leg of its own. And now they have a thriving thrift store out in Patchogue, where, again, they have an outreach center and they're constantly out advocating and promoting everything they can to provide good for their community. So just amazing, just amazing people. We had Julie Watterson. She's the executive director of Kids Clubhouse. Again, this is one of those things where you say, what about her position was above and beyond? And I can tell you it's all about the time that she spends with the children, the going out of the box and spending time out of her day to find additional resources and education and thinking about things that will help the development and the growth of the children. Putting, them first before herself and, not to say her own child, but it became her being and her mission to really be able to provide for these children.
Well, look at what she's teaching her children by doing what she does. And that's what all of these women are doing, is they're teaching our next generation what we really should be doing, right? Mm-hmm. And so just like you, I mean, don't you feel great joy when you elevate these women?
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah.
I love being part of anything that's bigger than myself.
Sure.
And knowing that I sometimes am nothing more than that connector, putting people together to create wonderful things is very empowering. And at the end of the day, if I walk away knowing that I've helped somebody else become a better version of themselves, it's a pat on my back for a job well done.
Without a doubt. It's very satisfying, right?
Yeah.
As was the event that we did last month for the Green Beret Foundation that you were involved with. So you're always out there reaching out, helping other people, lifting them up, elevating people's awareness of these different events out there, different foundations out there, different organizations out there, helping other people. So there's a lot of good going on out here. And I like to definitely elevate that awareness that there's a lot of happiness there. And I can see when you speak about it, you light up like a Christmas tree. You just light up when you're talking about the Angel Awards and all these wonderful, amazing women who are out there empowering other women.
Again, until you actually put yourself out there, you don't realize how many wonderful stories. And, you know, we're getting them sometimes at the very beginning, the inception of their project. And other women that we've met have been involved in the circuit for a little bit. So they're more mature in their business. But when you can put the two of them together and you have somebody who could almost become a mentor to somebody else and help them navigate along the way, making better decisions and how to grow their business, and making sure that they try to almost create a safety around experiences that they've had, and they share those experiences so you know what not to do.
Yeah. You're helping them jump the hurdles and stop them from recreating the wheel. There's no need to recreate the wheel. It's there. And your angel network is absolutely inspiring to do that. Yeah. It's inspiring. So it's exciting. So you have 20 new people that are winning this award this year on October 2nd. And you're having the event where? At the
Piermont in Babylon.
Can people sponsor this? Can companies sponsor this?
Oh my God. Sponsorship would be amazing, please.
Yeah. So what do you look for in a sponsor? Because I know you're very particular.
I am. You know what it is?
As you should be.
Yeah, I'm just protective of my brand because we do a lot for the people that support us. I am one of those rare people that believes in having a real solid return on investment. And I know that if somebody has limited dollars to spend, I really want them to appreciate what I can do and what value I have and how it can help their return on investment by aligning themselves with my organization.
Right.
So from a sponsorship, we have multiple levels, starting at $500 and up. We have the angel sponsor, which just putting a shout out, where it would be perfect for a bank. And that is basically, that's $10,000. Right. And again, we provide so much in that sponsorship because, although the event is the Angel Awards, the net proceeds from the event go to my foundation, which is the Equity First Foundation.
Right.
So this year, our mantra is help an angel earn her wings. So for all of the net proceeds from this particular event, those proceeds will be designated to doing all the programs that we currently participate in for women's organizations. So women's shelters, domestic violence, family and adolescent services, special needs communities, rehabilitation. So as our primary foundation, the Equity First Foundation, helping women is a big part of what we do. So proceeds from this event will go to helping these women. And our sponsor, our main sponsor, will not only be helping the Angel Awards, but will be recognized for every program that we do throughout 2020.
Right. And you do a really good campaign of elevating the sponsors for the Angel Awards as you're putting out the Angel Awards. And you're the executive director of the Equity First Foundation, right?
Correct.
And where did Equity First Foundation come from? Just so that we can connect the dots for our listeners.
Sure. So I hate to say it's all about me, but the Equity First Foundation.
Don't hate to say that because you're magical.
So the Equity First Foundation is a 501c3 that I created about 4.5 years ago. And We do financial literacy programs.
Yes.
So it was really started as a passion project. It was not my main career. It was a passion project that once again took a life of its own when you started realizing how many people just were not receiving the appropriate information.
So let me back up for a second. I'm going to unwind this a little bit. So the programs you put out, and it was a source of, I would just say, frustration when my boys were growing up, is when you go through school, you don't learn in school how to handle money. You don't learn in school how to balance a checkbook. You don't learn in school what it means for your credit score and what that all means to you. And where are we supposed to learn it? And you don't learn it in elementary. You don't learn it in high school. You don't learn it in secondary school. So that's what your foundation goes out and teaches, correct?
That's correct.
From all ages, from young to seniors, correct?
We say all ages, all stages, all abilities.
Nice.
So we go out there and you and I, we've kind of offline had this conversation. Yes. I could remember my son getting his first credit card and then looking at me going, I got my bill, but I don't even know how to pay it.
Right.
And I look at him and, Daniel, what do you mean you don't know how to pay? I don't know how to pay it. Like, what do I do next? Yeah. So they're not necessarily processing going from point A to point B.
Right.
And that's just one
smart young man.
Yeah.
But just couldn't connect those dots because they had never experienced it before. Correct. Why should they?
Even just walking into a bank,
that's intimidating. I don't like walking into a bank, so that's why I like online.
But you take these things away, and the children just don't have these experiences. So we try to walk them through what those experiences would look like.
Not just children.
Adults.
There are adults that sure. have not walked into a bank and they don't know what to do and they don't know what it looks like to have a bank account and how to pay and how to handle something like that. And you help educate.
We do.
And do you go out to all the schools? Or?
We're involved with the schools on Long Island. We also do lunch and learns for corporations. And then we also do community-based programs. So, for example, last week we did a program that was very specific to foreclosure and bankruptcy matters for those people that were experiencing financial distress. Tomorrow night, we're actually doing a program, and it's all about our seniors. It's called 55 and Fabulous, a senior symposium.
Nice.
And, we have all of the organizations that support senior living, being a healthy senior, from reverse mortgages, relocation specialists, medical supply equipment, financial institutions, banking institutions, and on and on and on. There's, I think, about 14 or 15 different organizations that are encompassed into the program for tomorrow.
And there's a lot to know as seniors of the transition in life, what happens, how to protect your money, what you should do, what you shouldn't do. Reverse mortgages is usually a nightmare screamer in people's heads because they don't know how it works, and it doesn't work the same way now as it used to work.
Correct.
But you also have to be careful. So you want to attend meetings like this so that you can have seminars like this that allow you to be more informed so you can make a better decision, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So I think it's wonderful across the board what you offer between your Equity First Foundation and the Angel Awards. And I want to talk more about the Angel Awards when we come back with the second half. Would you stay with us?
Yeah, of course.
That sounds great.
Thank you.
You are listening to Healthy Lifestyle. I'm Lori-Ann Casdia, and we're here talking with Rhonda Klch, the founder of Angel Awards, the executive director of Equity First Foundation, and we will be right back. Welcome back to Healthy Lifestyle. I'm Lorianne. Well, if you have any questions, comments, ideas, please reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you. Our email is healthylifestylewithla@gmail.com, and follow us on social media at Healthy Lifestyle with LA. Again, that email is healthylifestylewithla@gmail.com. We answer you as quickly as we possibly can and appreciate the feedback. We are here today with Rhonda Klch. She's the founder of the Angel Awards, Executive Director of Equity First Foundation, and we were talking about the Angel Awards and the nominations that they're coming up. When do they do? When's the last time that they can nominate? Is it mid-September or?
Usually we try for about that second week of September.
Right.
We reserve generally 1 or 2 spots for late entries.
So around this time. So if you know of anyone, jump on to angelawardsli.com and nominate someone today, because that's really important. We get to give them a better idea. I just want to talk to you about some of the success stories, because you're really creating a sisterhood amongst the Angel Network.
Yeah.
And these angels help the new angels, right?
They do.
It's like Charlie's Angels, but not.
There's always, for those people that may understand how business communities work, you have 2 different versions. The people who want to do everything in their ability to see you succeed.
Yes.
And those that want to do everything in their ability to hold you back.
Right. We don't talk to those people.
No, we don't.
No.
So the Angel, all the women that have participated in the Angel Awards are all these selfless, giving women that are trying to teach them, here's a good connection. Here is somebody that I use. So there has been so many great stories of just the women and how they've connected and how they've come together and what they're doing, collaborations.
Yeah.
So I love that.
I do too,
that.
Especially since women have the stigma of not doing that. Mm-hmm. And when women collaborate, and this is not a dispersion to our male listeners, because you have a whole thing going yourself. But I know the powerhouse and how much stronger we are when we get together. That's anybody. Mm-hmm. When we collaborate, the collective mind is always a lot more stronger than the singular one, because you have all these other ideas coming at you. Well, like we said in the first half, you jump hurdles that you don't have to jump because somebody else has already done it and can advise you. Don't do it this way because we did it that way. That doesn't work. Try this because this is the successes we're seeing.
Sure.
Don't you think becoming an angel gives them a more sense of confidence? What else do you think they walk away with when one becomes an angel, other than, of course, the title of being an angel? I want to be an angel. The title of being an angel. I just want to be able to call myself an angel.
So I think it starts when we let them know that they've been nominated.
Yeah, right.
I've had women immediately start crying. They're like, I'm so touched. I'm so honored. So it starts, I think, right there.
Yeah.
As an event itself, the emphasis is on promoting these women and who they stand for, and letting as many people know why they've been chosen.
And how do you go about doing that? How do you provide them with that stronger platform?
So what we do is we've aligned ourselves with multiple news stations and radio shows and blogging stations and cable TV shows, press releases, social media campaigns, our entire committee. Everybody shares and posts and shares and posts again. So there's just a tremendous amount of outreach. I've met people over the last few years, and I'll say, oh, I know so-and-so. They were one of my angels. And, they'll say, oh, yeah, she, they got that award. Yes, that's my event.
Right.
And I think what happens is that we try to bring as much awareness to who these women are and their organizations by promoting the fact that they are our angels. Again, the press releases, the photo opportunities, we host meet and greets, we bring them to other events. So we run this, 6 weeks strong campaign to promote everything about these women, right, and letting them get to know one another. Again, the collaborations, who would be a good connector. We bring sponsors to the table that are people that we like to refer to as we share. just because somebody's good for me doesn't mean they're not going to be good for you too.
Right.
So we try to bring as much, again, to the table. And I keep saying it that way because we want to see these women be lifted as high up as we can get them, to show them not only our support, but to help them grow their businesses, their alliance partners, help them to influence, if there is such the right way to say it, to provide influences to get them to the next level.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it sounds to me like you springboard these already entrepreneurs. They're already giving back to their community. You're springboarding them forward by providing them with this extra boost. So you're behind them, cheering them on, but they already come with that energy, that fire in their belly, that entrepreneurial thought process and energy that allows them to do the project that they're doing, to gain the attention,
Correct.
to become the angel. Now you're just kind of giving them an additional spring forward by providing and helping them network with other strong women who have their resources as well. And when we share our resources, it makes a lot of sense, don't you think?
It does.
Yeah, so I love this, and would you share with us one of the success stories, how one of your angels just like exploded off the map as a result of becoming an angel?
I could use an example. So Priscilla Arena.
Oh, sure.
She is the founder of Sassy, which is a local not-for-profit that specializes in the autism community.
She's been on Healthy Lifestyle. Our listeners are very well aware of her.
Okay. So Priscilla, in year 1, was one of our angels. So can I say that it's contributed? No, but can I tell you that the relationships that she's made by being in the same room, being recognized, the press releases, everything that goes behind being an angel, I think could have helped her create and establish more credibility.
Sure.
So I think that's important when somebody is growing their business and people are looking them up. They want to see, who is this person I'm going to do business with?
Of course.
Or organization that I'm thinking of placing my money. We had we have our sponsor, which is Investors Bank. And Investors Bank heard the story and the backstory behind Sassy, and they jumped on board and started helping them. And most recently, members of Investors Bank joined the board of Sassy.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So, these are just, again, collaborations and introductions from simple things such as event planners and DJs to venues that we can host our events. Again, there's so many different avenues that women in business are looking at. So there's no need to sometimes recreate the wheel, figure out what has worked, and ask questions, and you shall get answers.
Yeah, and you're very generous with your contacts. You have a huge network of contacts, and very, very generous. You put people together. I watched you do it at an event just a couple weeks ago, and somebody was asking a question. You put them with the other person, and bam, there was a magic that happened. I appreciate some of the people you've introduced me to, and that's how we're supposed to help each other. I, like you, put people together. I'll be talking to someone, and matter of fact, at that event, we put 2 people together who will hopefully just blow it out of the park. So I hope so. I just love to see that. And if we can have just a little bit to do with it, it's exciting, right?
It's very exciting.
Like you sit there and go, okay, well, I added a little bit of salt to that, and it helped. And that's a good thing. That's a really good thing.
I think all people that have good substance add a lot of value.
Yes.
And it's meeting other like-minded people that add value to our lives, that make us richer in who we are as a person.
I totally agree with that. And that value added is what the Angel Awards does.
Yes.
You add a whole lot of added value to what they're already doing. Okay, so I have to ask, you knew I was going to. Can you reveal who's some of the angels this year? Come on, share it. Right here on Healthy Lifestyle, come on.
So, I can probably give you the names of a few of the women.
I'll take that.
Okay, so we have Patricia Polans, And I'm so excited for her because she's such a hard worker. And she also just pledged to run for the LLS 2020 campaign for Women of the Year.
Wow.
So I'm hoping that the Angel Awards for her will be a springboard for people to know who she is and what she represents and what her journey and her mission will be, laying ahead for next year.
God, that's so exciting.
Yeah. We have Autumn Bem.
Oh, Autumn is wonderful.
Yeah, I think you know Autumn as well.
I met her at the Green Beret Foundation.
Yes, excellent. I know we have Melissa Shea. She actually runs LARIA, which is the Long Island Real Estate Association, and Clear the Way Foundation. So she does a lot with our distressed properties, helping along the way put people and connect people who could renovate distressed properties and then sell them to first-time home buyers, so that it really gives them some great opportunity. Her real estate organization will buy them at what we call scratch and dent price, right? And
wow.
they can make their money, but they clean up the house, they get it in beautiful condition, and then they look to sell it to first-time home buyers. Probably most notably, who I love sharing their story, we have Donna and Linda. I refer to them as the Got Checked girls. They have partnered, they do a ton of community outreach for women to get early detection for breast cancer screening.
Oh, that's brilliant.
So they are out. They work with Zwenger Pasiri, and they are out all over. We have Suzanne Chimera, which she represents Hair We Share.
Okay.
So
what's that?
Hair We Share, they actually campaigned to have hair donated so that they could be turned into wigs. For people that are undergoing cancer treatment.
Oh my gosh. I have goosebumps and I haven't even met them yet, but these are wonderful choices.
I mean, just, and I don't want to say the list goes on and on.
But it does.
We have Janice Blake. She's actually a female horse jockey.
A horse jockey
who has a powerhouse of a woman with just so much to share. Again, when you talk about the different spectrums, I only added her in because, different spectrums of women that come to mind. An author, public speaker, philanthropist, loves to educate in reference to her field and her specialty. And then we have, I refer to them as the Dairy Queen sisters. So we have Michelle and Pat, who are the owners of Dairy Queen in Medford.
Oh, yes, I know them.
Yes.
Oh, my God. They're powerhouses. Yeah, a little positive. They had a lot of hurdles to overcome to put that Dairy Queen in Medford, and they did it. They just kept coming back.
And, they do so much for the community. So I'm just trying to show a little diversification of the type of women, because they were nominated because of the fact that they are business owners. So that's one of our components.
Right.
But they go above and beyond as two, young entrepreneur women. They just do a tremendous amount for our community. I
love that. Okay, so let's back up for a second to nominate someone. Let's go through the elements that you're looking for. So obviously they have to be a business owner. They need
not necessarily a business owner.
Okay.
It's just a component.
Component.
You could, what we look at is being a good volunteer.
Okay.
People sometimes confuse being a sponsor, with being a volunteer. Somebody will say, I got, the whole being or a part of what I've learned growing up is that you don't have to always participate financially.
Right.
By giving a piece of yourself, that's just being a good volunteer.
It's a different donation. It's Correct. Donating your time. It's sweat equity is Correct. What we call it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So one of the components could be that they are just strong in their community and they're a solid community leader and volunteer and do a lot in that space. Another space would be for business development, business community. And then also in reference to overall philanthropy.
Yeah. So, and it doesn't have to be something that you've been doing years and years and years, mm-hmm. but that it's a passion, right? Correct. So I think passion, a fire in your belly, someone who just has this, passion about what they're doing and they're giving back and they're serving the community in some element, they would qualify. Yeah.
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 You know, we had a woman last year who was one of our angels, and sweetest lady. She was nominated. She works, she spends as much time as she can working at a local church to help families that are underserved to get the resources and help that they need. And that would require her sometimes working to just in the outreach center, helping to facilitate clothing drives, helping to facilitate food drives, just constantly chauffeuring people, making connections, picking things up, dropping things off, all things that are of herself to do the right thing and to serve the members of her, of her community.
Yeah, these are our unsung heroes. These angels, they really are. I was talking to some friends this weekend, and we were talking about just this topic and just how many people are out there doing these wonderful, wonderful things, and you are just elevating them and shining a light on them and personally making sure it gets pushed out there. So, and I watch your energy when you're doing it. It's magical because it really is. Although you joked around earlier about being all about you, at the end of the day, it's nothing about you. You make it nothing about you. I've watched you in action, and you just, it's like, no, this isn't about me, but I want to make sure it's about everybody else. And it's a real gift that you're providing. And I want to salute you and thank you for being just so giving, so generous, so kind, and coming up with the Angel Awards again. I know how proud I am to be part of this with you, and how proud I am of you that you do this in such a kind, generous way, and your whole family's involved. Your whole family.
They don't
involved.
have a choice.
Well, it's hard to say no to you. Have you ever noticed that? Yeah, it's very hard to say no to you.
They don't have a choice. And, every year you try to outdo the year before, because it's such a personal growth for me. As well. This year will be 4 years. And what I want to do this year is every year it's something different. And the one thing that people walk away with when they leave this event every year is this sense of pride. They're so happy that they were there. Yeah. The feeling of being there, that I don't really know how else to describe it, but when people leave, I get for 2 or 3 days straight emails and text messages saying that was an amazing, inspirational evening. Yes. Women are crying. I'm actually generally not a crier. So the first 2 years, it took me a little bit to kind of choke back the tears, but I use this event every year as a way to kind of symbolize, what it stands for. And when you think about this event, we have photos of my mother at the event. We bring her there, and we do this event usually in September. Unfortunately, this September was so busy for us that I had to move it to October 2nd. But we generally do the event second week of September, and that's because it's her birthday. So it's her birthday celebration. So.
Well, we can celebrate her on the 2nd of October and this year. And it's very exciting what you do, and that you get everybody energized. And if you want to see what it feels like, especially if you're thinking about sponsoring, go to the Facebook, and it's Angel
Awards of Long Island for the Facebook page. Yeah. And the website is angelawards.com.
Right. And you can actually see a video. It's like a little synopsis thing on the Facebook, and that it really gives you a good sense of what the evening's going to be like and how the women react. And I know watching it, I got goosebumps, and that's what propelled me to give you the call back and have this conversation with you. So it's exciting. It's well run. We're talking really high levels. So if you know anybody, please take the time to nominate them. They will really appreciate it. And you can never imagine the smile and how it touches people, especially the people we're talking about. Never expect anything back, like yourself. Mm-hmm. You're never looking for something for yourself. You always take something given to you and you pass it on to someone else. So I really applaud you, Rhonda. You're just you're an angel yourself.
Thank you.
You're like the supreme angel leader here. So again, Rhonda Klch, from founder of Angel Awards and the executive director of Equity First Foundation. I think that foundation is a wonderful foundation, and your schools, you should bring her team in to help teach our children how to handle money, because that's an important element of life. And the Lunch and Learns for corporations, and think about sponsoring this event, because it will not only benefit the Angel and the Angel Network and the Angel Awards, but it'll also absolutely positively impact your business as well. I want to thank you for being on.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Really appreciate it. And thank you all for joining us today on Healthy Lifestyle. My heart is always lifted by sharing this time with you. And I want to thank you again, Rhonda. Of course, our new producer, Mike, because our Joe, we need to say goodbye to, because he's going to get some additional education. So he's the superhero and executive in radio and TV in the future. So adore you, adore you. In the meantime, follow us on social media and email us on healthylifestylewithla@gmail.com. I want to remind you, as I always do, to do a little something for yourself. Just do something. It could be buying yourself a cup of coffee, stopping for a few minutes, take a meditation, but definitely start some kind of habit. Be gentle to yourself. We are so hard on ourselves, and it's not necessary. Create a new balance. You are the best you, because everyone else is taken. Let me say that one more time to remind you. You are the best you, because everyone else is taken. So be you. Be who you are. You're the best. So we are here to serve one another, and I want you to take this moment to thank you. I hope that Healthy Lifestyle is serving you, as our intention is. Thank you again for joining us today on Healthy Lifestyle. I'm Laurie Ann Casdia, and until next time, show up for you and show up big.